Hey, good morning, afternoon, or evening, good people, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be, and however we're together. Thanks for being here. I'm Dave, and this is Dave's Head. So, what's in my head? One of my things I do, or used to do, a lot more prevalently, is travel. Every quarter, for the longest time, every quarter I was going somewhere, doing something, catching some flight, heading to some beach, or some foreign town, or wherever, just to get away, experience all the things that this world has to offer. In the last, say, 4 or 5 years, I've kind of changed, probably even more than that. We're 2025 now. So, really, probably next past 7, 8 years, I've kind of calmed down just a little bit on that. And now, kind of strategically plan throughout the year when I can go away. But this particular weekend is the unofficial soft launch, not lunch, of my travel season. Heading out of town for a long weekend with my TO and a couple friends, great friends of mine. We're just going to go kick back and take in the beach and relax and all that stuff. We were going to do a little golfing, but unfortunately, one of us got injured, so that's not going to happen. But as I approach travel, quote unquote, travel season, the anticipation isn't the foremost thought. It's the things or the days delaying the start of it. For example, work and other activities I'm a part of, organizations I'm a part of, a bunch of events coming up back to back to back to back over the next couple of weeks and months, committees that I'm on, organizations that I support. There's a lot of stuff going on right now to the point where even recording this episode, I'm squeezing it in during a break during the day, squeezing it in other parts of this during, between meetings and not work meetings, just other, you know, non-work meetings. I've got a couple squeezing them in. And so what I've turned my attention to is not so much the countdown. And trust me, I love doing a good countdown, but the reassurance that the light at the end of the tunnel is really a light. It's not a mirage. It's not just me getting to the next big thing that I'm working on or the next big task that I have to check a box for. And so traveling for me used to be something I think that was more so just a habit, like breathing. I knew I was traveling somewhere every quarter. I knew I was planning a trip 3 trips from now because I just gotta have that itch satisfied. Whereas now it's more adulting, right? It's more like life is lifing, and so travel is more that relief, that pause from doing and being a part of all the things that I'm doing and being a part of. But travel. I keep saying season. Travel season is something I look forward to every year. You come out of winter. I'm a winter baby, but I'm a summer body. I say that all the time. I'm a plant. I need sun and beaches and warm weather and all this stuff, even though I'm born during the winter. I look forward to travel season every year. I look forward to seeing new things, experiencing new things, eating new things, traveling with people I care about and love, and people watching. Because if you know me a little bit, you know I love to do some people watching. And so I look forward to this weekend. I look forward to getting and creating memories with people I care about and love and detaching a bit because coming back, big events next weekend, back to back days. Um, Father's Day is coming up this weekend. And then right after that, planning another event and then reunion and all this other stuff. And so, July and August are big travel months for me. Basically, half of each month I'm gone, which I enjoy, of course. But it also means when I'm here, back home, recording one of those months, I don't record in August, but that's more stuff for me to do. Organizations I'm part of, stuff for me to do. Podcast, stuff for me to do. And so it condenses my schedule, condenses my task list and to-do list and deadlines and all that stuff. And so it's one of the things when I talk about responsibilities that we have, owning those responsibilities, accepting those responsibilities, completing those responsibilities, and moving on to the next thing, but also taking time for yourself or for yourself and your family, yourself and your relationships, yourself and your finances, being a responsible adult, because lives all the time. And there's nothing we can do about it. If we commit to things in our nature, I hope we commit to things we can do and we actually do. So I'm looking forward to travel season. I'm looking forward to the unofficial kickoff. It's like Memorial Day is the unofficial start to the summer. Whatever the first trip is, doesn't matter if it's a 7-day vacation somewhere, or in this case a long weekend. That first one kind of gets everything in motion with travel season for me. And so I'm happy. I'm happy about travel season getting this kickoff this weekend, and me getting to spend some time with my TO and some great friends that I care about and love. So looking forward to it. Before I get to the last thing that's in my head, Dave's Head Podcast is now part of the Live Podcast Network, and coming soon. The Live Podcast Network you can find on Fire TV and other video outlets. Home of Black Voices, and now on your TV screen as well. Dave's Head Podcast is not on there yet, but trust me, we will be there soon. Where community, culture, and creatives live. Dave's Head Podcast adds to the catalog of over 70 titles available in the Alive Podcast Network and app for both iOS and Android. Check out Dave's Head Podcast and many others in the Alive Podcast app. And again, on your Fire Stick and other video players, the home of Black Voices. The last thing that's in my mind, the freshman experience. Last week, I went to the graduation of my goddaughter. Now, normally I post pictures of these things, but she's a minor, so I'm kind of keeping her off the screen for now. I can't even put into words how proud of her I am. I believe she got 3 awards. They had an awards thing the night before the graduation. She got 3 of them. So smart, so intelligent. And she was excited to surprise me with the awards when I saw them in the program, because one was in coding and the other was in robotics. And she knows I'm a bit of a nerd geek, so kind of tickled me a little bit that, number one, she got awards in those categories, but 2, that she wanted to surprise me with them to see my reaction. So love that for her and love that about her. I did manage not to cry. Although I would say both the valedictorian and salutatorian speeches welled me up. Celebrating Blackness, celebrating the number 1 and number 2 students being of Black diaspora, African diaspora, and seeing the proudness welling up and then hearing their stories. Very, number 1, very well written speeches, very well spoken speeches, and to hear the stories and the journeys that they have both experienced getting to number 1 and number 2 in their graduating class is something to not only applaud but be proud of, and to look at as a guide or mentor, talking point for those who mentor youth out there. After the graduation, we went to a celebratory lunch, like, high school graduations happen to follow. I know I went to Spaghetti Warehouse. I don't even know if that still exists. But when I graduated from high school, we went to Spaghetti Warehouse in Philly. Couldn't tell you a single second about that lunch, celebratory lunch. I don't remember. It's 1995. Come on. But after all the euphoria wears off, after, all the, you count the money that people slip you in cards, you read all the cards, you thank all the people, you celebrate with your friends, you take all the pictures, you get annoyed because people keep calling your name. Adulting officially begins, right? For many high school grads, the freshman experience begins. Some almost immediately, some do preparatory or take AP classes or college classes, or maybe they need to take classes to qualify. Not a knock on them at all. It's just some, the experience begins soon. Some, it's later in the summer. And so, I'll tell you a quick story. I went to Mansfield University originally out of high school. Made a choice to go to Mansfield because they had a 3-2 program with Penn State. So 3 years of Mansfield, 2 years of Penn State. And I would come out with a computer engineering bachelor's and master's. And ultimately I changed my major, which kind of took me out of that program. I changed my major 3 times actually. But also because I had an opportunity to play football, and I was told and sold on the opportunity to play and start at Mansfield. And that's another long story. But my sister, drove me up to Mansfield about 3.5, 4, well, probably about 4.5 if she was driving. Just saying, she drives slow, even back then. But about 4.5 hours ride from Philadelphia to north central Pennsylvania. And by the time we get up there, she's exhausted. So I believe she slept in my dorm. So all the football players had dorm rooms and all that. I think they gave her a room for the night so she could drive back the next day. And so wake up in the morning, we got, classes, orientation, all this stuff the next day. And so I say what I think is my goodbyes to my sister and head over to the football field and go sit into the class. And then I start hearing this buzz. It just kind of gets not too loud, but it just gets louder and louder and louder. And it's because my sister has decided to make her way over to the facility because she, had that big sister sort of slash mother moment where she wanted to say goodbye one more time. And so if you imagine a room full of men, football players and coaches, and someone calling out to Ewings, which is my last name, and saying, "Hey, somebody's here for you." And my sister, young, beautiful woman, walks in respectfully. They kept quiet while she was there. After she left, and after I sat back down in my seat, the entire room just exploded. It was like it was the first time they all seen a woman. It was just crazy. But I imagine almost every parent is like that. When your child goes off to school for the first time, especially if, they've never been to camp or they've never gone to, something away from the house for a period of time, even if they've just gone to grandma's down in, I don't know, Florida, for 2 weeks at a time, it's not the same thing, right? They're going for, I don't know, 12, what's a semester, 12, 15 weeks, whatever it is. And they're going to be on their own. Now, granted, they may hit you up for money. They may hit you up crying over some guy or guy telling you, "Mom, I ran out of money," or whatever. Who knows? But it's not the same as them going away for a camp or going away for a couple of weeks here to go see relatives. They're going to go live their lives. And so, as exciting as the time is right now, that next chapter of their young lives begins. And so you have to trust that even in this world, which can appear and is very scary, you have to trust and have to support their confidence and celebrate every step they take and trust that what you've instilled in them, and hopefully you've done a great job, and I'm assuming you have, that, remind them that life moves very fast, to cherish the memories and the friends that they'll make, learn from their mistakes, continue to grow, and understand that the reason they're in college is to learn, get a degree so they can advance the outlook on their life. You have to trust that everything you've done up to this point has not only prepared them for that, but motivated them to achieve that. And I get it. The tears will flow. You'll be like, "Can I get a call? It's been 3 days." Because once they get up there and they start to get in their little ecosystem, they meet their friends in their classes, they meet their friends in the mess hall, they meet their friends sitting on the grass, they meet people at parties. Yes, they will go to parties. They meet people all over the place. They're going to get in their little bubble where one day turns into 2, turns into 5, turns into 17. And you realize, damn, my child don't even need me no more. And it's okay, because they shouldn't need you every single day over a period of time. But as long as they check in and let you know that they love you and that they're okay and that they're happy, and just be there to support them. That's all it is. But the freshman experience is something that, listen, I got stories. I have lifelong friends that I met in college still today. We text a couple times a week. At worst case, a week might go by, maybe 2. I've been in weddings. I've, saw children after they're born. I've godfather to someone I met in college, his son. The friends that you make in college, that freshman experience sets the tone for the entire time you're there. Now it could be a bad tone that turns better. It could be a great great tone that turns worse. Woo, try that one. But freshman year is that ice water in the face moment, not only in schooling and environment, the school you chose, the friends you'll make or not make. All those things come to a head that freshman semester, because that's when you learn what you're really made of. That's when you learn what you're about. But it's a beautiful thing. It's a fun time. And not only my goddaughter, everyone's goddaughter, everyone's godson, every child out there that's about to partake in the freshman experience, I hope it's amazing for you. I wish I could go back and have the iPhone that I have now back in college and record in HD and 4K some of the memories that I had from back then. Because let's be real, we had a flip phone, and we had the phone in the dorm room. We probably had a Polaroid, maybe one of those instant cameras, something. Yeah, might have 35 millimeter. Either way, it wasn't an iPhone spitting out 4K videos of just anything and everything, anytime we wanted to. And so it's a vastly different experience. We didn't have, gigabit Wi-Fi in the dorm rooms and all across campuses. We didn't have those things. And so to be able to experience this, and just from a technical nerd guru, not guru, but technical nerd type of person who's, loves technologies and loves speed and loves now, for them to experience college with the technology we have today is an amazing thing. And so I'm excited for them. I'm excited for the refreshing experience, and I hope it's absolutely amazing. And that's what's in my head. This season's been difficult with guests. Not that finding guests or matching with guests or scheduling guests have been difficult. Last minute conflicts have popped up many times. And while I have guests lined up for the rest of the season, guests inquiring every single day, when last minute things happen, I don't want to impose the inconvenience of trying to squeeze somebody in who may have scheduled later this season or just inquired today and say, hey, I got a spot tomorrow if you want to record. And so oftentimes what I'll do is what I'm doing now, which is have an episode without a guest. And so you get my thoughts and my opinions a little bit more. The definition of chaos is complete disorder and confusion. Strategic chaos refers to the deliberate creation or manipulation of disorder and unpredictability to achieve a specific strategic advantage. It involves understanding and utilizing the potential for chaos to disrupt opponents, create opportunities, and shift the balance of power. Now, this can be observed in politics and business, even military strategy, where disrupting the status quo or exploiting vulnerabilities can be a key element. I've done what I think is an incredible job of minimizing this season how much I poison this podcast with the vow that's happening in DC. If you've listened or watched and just followed this podcast for more than just a season, you know that last season and even a couple seasons ago, I spent a good amount of time talking about who currently sits atop the current administration and the things they had done in the past and the things they were doing almost daily. Not almost, actually daily back then. And I've done a pretty good job this season of ignoring, if you will, as far as this podcast was concerned, the things that have been happening that may have been conversation worthy. Because I didn't want to put that individual and those actions center stage on this podcast. The exception is going to be this episode. Because we're not even 6 months in. We're not even 6 months in to this administration and the absurdity of the things that are happening, the absurdity of what is being allowed to happen is mind-boggling. I'm not going to speak on what organization, but yesterday I sat on a call that in my adult life and in all of the organizations that I've worked for, supported, given back to, or simply been associated with, I have never had to participate in before, ever. This was a call addressing this administration and how to navigate simply existing for the almost next 4 years. Simply existing. I firmly believe that the things that are happening in this administration, the actions that are being taken, the chaos that's ensued and continues today, and even this weekend, if you know what's happening this weekend, I will not be watching. It's all a part of the plan. Strategic chaos. Look at the things this administration have waged war on since January, and I'll touch on a few of them. I can really go on itemizing this stuff. Immigrants, and if you think it's just illegals, it's not. There's a reason that innocent immigration legal immigrants are being caught up in this web indiscriminately as much as those who quote unquote deserve to be apprehended. There's a reason due process is just a catchphrase at this point instead of actual policy. I firmly believe if you control the population, you control the voting pool. Now, some people may say, well, if you're illegal, you shouldn't be voting anyway. I'm not talking about that segment of the immigrant population. I'm talking about the segment of the immigrant population that's here legally, capable of voting, capable of paying taxes, capable of getting benefits. But if you diminish that segment, put fear in the heart of that segment as midterms roll around, as the next election rolls around, they're less likely to show up to polls, especially under the threat of illegal, appropriate, inappropriate apprehension simply for exercising what is your right to vote. If fear keeps a percentage of legal immigrants away, fear may also keep a percentage of people who may look like an immigrant away. We know statistically that who votes for Democrats, who votes for Republicans, there is a large statistical fact of what demographics, racial demographics, skin tone demographics vote for each side. And so if you look at collateral damage, even if you accidentally apprehend a couple legal immigrants, even if you accidentally apprehend a few U.S. citizens, pure U.S. citizens, even if they get apprehended accidentally, what that will do, even if it's a 1% or a 10%, what that will do is keep enough people away to minimize the impacts that those who probably in all likelihood, statistically, would have voted against you from showing up. Strategic chaos. Look at education. Book banning. Attacking Harvard University and the education system. This private-public debate. School curriculums. Demonizing theories that have existed for decades upon decades that literally have nothing to do with indoctrination. Think about it. If you control the message, you control the mindset. If you control what's learned and how it's learned, if you control what's available to be learned, you control the mindset. You dumb down the population. A dumber population isn't informed, isn't educated on politics, isn't educated on policy, isn't educated on anything that makes for a good voter. But it does promote ignorance. Strategic chaos. The judicial branch. Look at the attacks on the judicial branch. Judges who follow the rule of law and make rulings based on that, demonized, attacked, addresses leaked, life threatened, all these things. Simply for following the law as it's written. If you control or rewrite the governing laws, you control any potential resistance. If you control how the law is enforced, if you control the laws on the book, or if you simply control the ability to ignore those laws because you ignore those laws, then any potential resistance is quelled. Accountability is quelled. Because if you have the law on your side, illegally, but enforceable, and with no accountability, that stokes fear. That reduces confidence in the legal system, that complaining, filing lawsuits, having you arrested, doing the legal things based on the law to ensure justice is blind, fair, equal. It erodes that. Strategic chaos. So how do you combat strategic chaos? Underground organization. I was triggered to this answer by my call yesterday. The Underground Railroad is a great blueprint to combat this. The things that are being stoked as fear-mongering tools, right? Education and the things that, the books they want to ban because it teaches this, and educational guidance is wrong because it teaches that. Harvard is wrong because they allow immigrants. We need to look at their roster because we want to check every single immigrant that's here, make sure. It's a great blueprint because sometimes you need to operate underground in plain sight. In order to be fair, equitable, and just, sometimes you need to do things where no one's watching. Communicate without talking. Work around the system because the system is unjust, corrupt, ignorant, devilish. We can go on and on. But first, you need to organize and repeat the cycle of strengthening your organization. Diverse and tight communications, diverse and talented skill sets, diverse allies. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Your organization has to be as tight as it can be because your actions spawning from that organization are going to be scrutinized by those who don't value justice, those who don't value equity, inclusion, diversity, those who value ignorance, those who simply value power, because that's really what it's all about. Secondly, recognize and analyze. Look at the chaos as an opportunity to find weakness. Even in chaos, there is clarity. Think about this. Avengers. Might remember Avengers when they came through the wormhole in the sky and they had those flying things that had the armor on the side. They couldn't penetrate it. You might remember Tony Stark saying to his AI, essentially, that he wanted it to find a weakness in the armor. And they found it. Through all the chaos, all that movement, all the wave or sine wave form of that movement, certain inflections, the shield was exposed. Just as, this weekend, there's flexing and pomp and circumstance and all these things. There's probably weakness in there. All the yelling and bloviating at judges and tweeting this and screaming out on truth this. There's weakness in that too. Even the greatest armor has weakness. A narcissistic man's greatest weakness is his overconfidence. Believing he's the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. No one has ever. By the way, all those things are not quantifiable. So inherently, they're lies. But that's just me. Third, identify methods and opportunities for strategic disruption. Strategic disruption. Consider using strategic disruption as an operational framework to delay, degrade, or deny your adversary's objectives. Strategic disruption, excuse me. Protect the innocents. Educating with factual information. Repeatedly holding the executive, legislative, and judicial branch accountable to the law and the Constitution. Strategic disruption. Again, all part of underground. You can be public but silent. Hidden but effective. Lastly, maintain focus. Don't get sidetracked by distractions, fear, attacks, any of those things. Stay clear on your core mission and the priorities, and never, ever give in. I pause intentionally because of the next part of it. And this is all stuff that I wrote. And thinking about the meeting I had yesterday, thinking about the Underground Railroad, thinking about what needs to happen this next 3.5-ish years, and what needs to be survived based on these first 6 months. Not to minimize this. And I know we live in a world where people like to speak in grandiose terms. I've never seen anything like this. This storm is the greatest storm ever. I'm the greatest president ever. No one has ever done what I've done. We like to speak in these unprovable, grandiose terms. And so in that spirit, I will say what we are probably experiencing today, thinking back to 50, 100, 300, 500 years ago, does it actually compare to that? Because I say that's probably way worse than what we're going through now. And if they could get through it, we can get through it. I say that to say too many great people throughout history have stood firm so we can walk easy. Too many great people throughout history have faced the stress and fears of chains, a whip, a noose, so that we can sleep comfortably at night. Too many people throughout history have tried and erred their way to revolution so that we begin ours on step 1865 or step 1964 or step 2008 instead of being compelled to start it on step 1. And so don't you dare let them win. Don't you dare. It would be disrespectful to the road laid with blood and bodies before us and behind us. It would be disrespectful to those who are counting on the road we are to pave for their journey, their future. It would be disrespectful to us to give up. And so don't you dare let them win. Strategic disruption above and underground is our defense. And so organize yesterday. My favorite segment of my podcast is my GRIN, which stands for Great Reason to Be in Love with Now. You might have noticed if you're watching on YouTube, Spotify video, a live podcast network, so many other places, that I'm wearing a shirt that says Overbrook Alumni. If I lean back a little bit, I'm wearing an Overbrook hat. Kind of my ode to college graduation season and high school graduation season. This is my high school. I went to Overbrook High School. And thinking about college send-offs and thinking about the spirit of this time, and I talked about this in my opening, college send-offs and graduation and experience of freshman life and all that. I know that we're still in June. And there may be graduations left to go. But one of the next exciting, grueling, sad times for parents or things to come is the lead up to the actual college send-off. Let me pause briefly to acknowledge the parents who will dehydrate themselves from crying on send-off day. I overstand, completely and wholeheartedly empathize with what that day means. I may joke a little bit about it, but it is a real pain for a lot of parents to see their baby boy or their baby girl go off to college. And so while I may make light of it, I do wholeheartedly emphasize with the pain that may exist on varying levels that day and perhaps the days to follow. If I can offer words of encouragement, is that you've raised them and prepared them for greatness and life. Trust their heart and mind, because their heart and mind came from and were influenced by you. And if you've done a good job, and I assume you have, they will be just fine. Motherhooddefined.com has an article, Top 11 Awesome College Send-Off Party Ideas. I'm going to go through them right now. I will make comments on each one because some of these, no, not happening. Not a good idea. Don't do it, please. Number one, throw a packing party, they say. Sometimes one of the best ways to show up is to take some stress out of someone by helping them pack for their college move. Now, I assume that this is more so aimed at the friends of or family, younger family of the graduate who's going off to college. I can't imagine sending out an invitation to my friends, their friends, our circle, adults, everybody likes to cook out and saying, hey, come help my daughter or son pack. Like I said, maybe it's for like a younger thing. Invite their friends. Might be the last time they're seeing their friends in the neighborhood or friends they grew up with for a while. So a packing party might be kind of cool. It's also a little bit invasive, if you ask me. There's a lot of stuff that maybe not want to see people seeing me pack. I don't know. That's number one. Number two, hold a college themed party. Throw them a going away party that will be themed to match the new college. You can decorate the venue with sports jerseys, school logos, and other recognizable items for the new college. Now, this one I kind of like. I think depending on the college, especially if you're going to like some big time program school, like a large school, like say they're going to Penn State, for instance. This is 100,000+ enrolled school. It's Penn State. Penn State, right? And so maybe you just have a Penn State party. All you need is blue and white. It's pretty easy to do. Find all that stuff at the party store or wherever you go. It's easy to find. Food, party, drinks, non-alcoholic for them, of course, until they get to college, and nothing you can do about that. But I like that idea. A college themed party, especially if you have some nice colors depending on the school. Like say, for instance, Miami pops in my head. They're orange, white, and green. Make it you could do a Mexican thing. Not saying that's, why you should do that, but tacos would be a great idea, just saying. But yeah, a college themed party. I like that. So we're one of two on ideas. I like idea number two. Number three, throw a camping party. Outdoor events such as camping are a great way to surprise someone with one last trip to their best camping spot before going to college. Not feeling it. But camping wasn't my thing. I wasn't a Boy Scout when I was younger. If my dad would have threw me a camping party, I'd probably be like, really? That's okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll go. Smile, all that. But I don't see camping as I'm about to go away to college type of party thing. But hey, if the shoe fits where it works for you, you got it. But we're one and two right now. One idea I like, two I didn't particularly like. Number four, masquerade party. A mysterious masquerade party is an excellent for a college farewell party as all people will need to wear a mask. They can combine the mask with any costume and unlock the guest's creative side. I'm on the fence with this one. On one hand, masquerade parties are kind of cool. I do like them. I think I still have a mask in my closet from the last party I went to. But for a college send-off, I'm not too sure a masquerade party is the thing. Not too sure about that one. We're 1 and 3 right now. Not feeling that one. Number 5, color theme. You can pick a single color and use it for the entire party, or use a combination of colors as the party theme. The colors you choose should complement the invitations, decor, and food at the party. I'm guessing, so here's what I would say. If it's in the theme of the high school colors that the student's graduating from, or the college colors the student's going to, kind of makes sense. Other than that, I don't see how this is different than the college theme party. Kind of the same thing. So I'll give that one as something I like based on that caveat. So we're 2 and 3 at this point. Number 7, all but clothes party. Chill, pause. Let me get through this one. I had the same thought. The theme does not mean that people will not be wearing clothes. Instead, the guests should wear costumes and be creative with their dresses. Even if it's not Halloween, by the way. First of all, we could have come up with any other description for that besides all but clothes party. Makes no sense why that was chosen. Number 2, Why do we need to wear costumes for a freshman college send-off party? I just find that odd. I don't know. Maybe that's me. I think we're 2 and 4 now. Number 8, costume party. It does not matter whether it's the Halloween season or not. You can still hold a costume-themed party as a college send-off. This is one of the best party themes you can use for hosting the best party in town. Again, I don't get it. I feel like the last two are exactly the same. One's called All But Clothes Party, really bad description. The other one's called a costume party, yet they both have the same words in them. Yeah, we're 2 and 5 now. Number 9, a picnic party. Some people don't like huge events. If your friend is one of those people, you can hold for them a picnic party. The party can be held in your backyard or a park. A picnic party can be fancy or simple, but they are usually simple with just a bottle of champagne and some snacks. Number 1, kind of okay with the picnic party, or at least I like the park idea. Kind of cool for a send-off. Don't understand the champagne thing because we're talking about high school graduates, but okay. Maybe we'll give them some apple cider or something like that, and that could work. I'm okay with the picnic party idea. You can make it a whole like block party thing, kind of cool. You know, Fairmount Park, if you're in the Philly area, works for me. So with that, I think we're 3 and 5 now. Number 10, casino night out. A casino night out is a fun way of getting together with friends or sending someone to college if they love casinos. The night will always remind the person of the beautiful memories back at home. At casinos, you will get yummy cocktails and snacks. This is an excellent way of making some money while enjoying great times with friends. I should caveat this, put a star next to it, whatever. Please consult your local and state laws about playing a casino, quote unquote, playing a casino and taking money from people making bets. I will say that as a caveat. With that said, I like the idea. I think it's a great way to simply raise money, assuming that people lose their money to you or simply donate it. It's a nice way to raise a nice little cash cow that perhaps can go buy stuff and all that. Kind of cool. I like it. So that I think we're 4 and 5 now. Number 11, slumber party. You can have one big slumber party with your girls before going to college. You can watch a favorite show, have a few drinks, or cook some food together as you each enjoy each other's company during the party. Yeah, I do like the fact that they put girls and she in this description because I can't see guys during a slumber party. I can see guys just hanging out playing video games or whatever and falling asleep on the floor and on the couches. Maybe we'll call that a slumber party. But a typical slumber party sounds like a girl thing. Guys playing Xbox, PS5, whatever. I kind of like the idea of a slumber party. It's kind of like one last hurrah with your friends. Maybe make it a whole party where guys and girls stay over, whatever. Kind of cool. So I think we're 5 and 5 now. Now, you may have or have not noticed that I skipped over number 6. I didn't skip it. The website did. They left out the number 6 and went straight to 7 from 5. So I thought that despite that, this list was worth discussion. And so for number 6, I'll add mine. I think a potluck barbecue prime list trunk party will be great for a soon-to-be freshman. Save the parents as much money as possible. Have a great time with your son or daughters, friends and family. People bring hopefully good food. And also, you have a prime list of all the things that your son or daughter may need. People buy them and bring them to this party or have them shipped to your house ahead of time or just after, whatever. The circle, what I call the circle, your family, your friends, people who love and care about your son or daughter, come through, show out, have a great time and support, and saves money for the parents on food, save money for the parents on items for the son or daughter for college. I think it's a great opportunity to get everybody together for one last hurrah, friends, family, classmates, all that to make your son or daughter happy. And mom or dad doesn't have to put out a ton of money because the village has their child. Whatever you do, however you do it, make it memorable. Your child or young adult will have and hold on to that memory forever. Again, going through them really quickly, throw a packing party, hold a college theme party, throw a camping party, a masquerade party, a color theme party, an all but clothes party, a costume party, a picnic party, a casino night out party, a slumber party, and my own, a potluck barbecue prime list trunk party. Whatever you do, make it fun, make it enjoyable, give your child some memories. Check out motherhooddefined.com. The article is Top 11 Awesome College Send-Off Party Ideas. Lastly, before I let you go, as I've been doing for a while now, I leave you with a quote. I talked a lot about disrupting, being a disruptor, strategic, chaos, all these things, how to get through the next 3.5, 4, hopefully less years. It's a quote by John Chambers. He's an executive chairman and former CEO of Cisco. It's a very short but powerful quote. If you're not a disruptor, you will be disrupted. I think that deserves a second go again. If you're not a disruptor, you will be disrupted. As we navigate these treacherous waters of the next 3.5 years or so of this administration, whether silently or loudly, but strategically, we need to be disruptors. Our rights depend on it. The rights of our children depend on it. Our nation depends on it. Whatever side of the aisle you fall on, there has to be a part of you who does not feel comfortable with what is happening right now. And if you don't sit back and think and strategize and come up with ways to be a disruptor, you will simply be disrupted. So travel season, strategic disruption, and college send-offs. All great reasons to be in love with now. Over high school. Go Panthers. That's all for this episode of Dave's Head. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm sure you'll love similar content in the Alive Podcast Network app. Plus, you can support this podcast and enjoy ad-free listening to nearly 100 other Black-hosted podcasts. Download the iOS or Android app, become a member, and experience unlimited access to Black-hosted content week after week. Follow, like, and or subscribe to this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and or X at Dave's Head Pod, and on YouTube at Dave's Head Podcast. For more information and links to all things Dave's Head, check out our website at daveshead.card.co. Episode premiere on the second and fourth Fridays of the month. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, enjoy life because life should be fun. Take care.